Good morning. Welcome back to SBJ Weekend Review. I'm your host, Keagan Holsey. To my left is your co-host, Chad Holsey. We're coming off a Thanksgiving break. Just had a great weekend. A few things. I said last week that it might not come out on time. That was my only warning. It did come out on time. The only thing I didn't expect, the hiccup we ran into, couldn't get the intro song or video in there. So sorry for that, but we're back. Everything should be back to normal. How you doing, Chad? I know you're a little tired this morning.
I am fine. I have I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning, and I have then got here, and for some reason I just feel really, really tired. I don't know why, but I think what I did a big mistake yesterday afternoon. I sat down in the recliner and closed my eyes for longer than I should have, and I paid for it by waking up at 3 o'clock this morning.
There you go.
Yeah.
Need a vacation from your vacation.
Yeah, Sunday afternoon naps can hurt you, man, and they did. It jumped up and bit me. There was nobody worth watching football-wise, so no offense to
it was pretty pitiful.
Right, there just wasn't good football on yesterday. So I ended up taking a nap, and I paid for it. So that's where I'm at this morning. But that's okay. It's going to be good. I'm excited. We're 3 weeks out from Christmas break, and a lot that's going to happen in the next 3 weeks. So
about to get real busy.
Yeah. And so we're good to have a couple of days off last week and be able to relax and have a good time with family. And it was fun doing the podcast with everybody, but today it's just me and you. So we're going to have to, bring our A game, I guess, seeing it's just me and you. We don't have guests for the first time in 2 weeks. So I think it's good. I am ready for Christmas and all the stuff that goes with it, but a lot of work, like to do the lights and stuff for Live Nativity.
Nightmare.
It's just a lot of work. And so, but luckily this year, I think we have a handful of people that are going to help us and maybe get that thing done. We're trying to rethink the tunnel. The tunnel is the nightmare. I think everything else isn't that big of a deal, but that tunnel, man, that takes all day. So maybe me and Tracy have been looking at some stuff to figure out different for the tunnel, but I don't know. We'll see.
There was a little bit of confusion. You announced, I thought you said the help crew for setting up is this Tuesday.
No.
There's some people that said maybe next Tuesday. So maybe I was hoping to get some clarification. I forgot to ask you that off the show, but since we're already talking about it.
So next, not tomorrow, not tomorrow, not Tuesday, the 2nd, but Tuesday, 7 days from the 2nd, which would be the 9th, right? Tuesday the 9th at
no idea.
5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I think, but whenever you can get here. If you can get here.
Oh, today's the 1st.
Yeah, today's number 1. Can you believe we're already through November? That's
ridiculous.
I feel like just 4 weeks ago we did Trunk or Treat.
Every year is going by faster and faster.
That was a joke, man. Come on. Everybody should be laughing about that. Anyhow,
I didn't really listen to what you said. I'm sorry.
That's true. That's typical. Well, you've been doing that a lot this past week. You and your sister and your mother. I talk all the time and no one listens. I just wasted my breath.
Because, okay, you'd understand why, though.
No, I don't understand why. What I have to say is legit and good stuff.
There's a lot of times, and this is no offense because, we love you. There's some times where he just doesn't like that it's quiet, so he just says stuff, and none of it really has value, so we get used to not necessarily tuning you out.
Oh, yeah, no, that would be rude. That's the exact word. That's the exact word.
I wouldn't say I'm tuning you out.
I don't think we need to be lying.
I'm trying to get better at filtering what requires response and what doesn't.
If I'm talking, it requires a response. In several categories. 1, I'm your father. 2, I'm your boss. And so in both of those categories, it requires a response and not a smart aleck response, a legitimate, yes, sir, I'm listening. What you have to say has value.
I'm not saying it doesn't have value.
Yeah, you did.
Saying there's a lot of times you're just talking and nobody really even knows who you're talking to.
I'm talking to whoever is in earshot.
Whoever's willing to listen.
I mean, I've got good stuff to offer, and people should be willing to listen to it.
Well, I don't know about all that, but
anyhow,
hope y'all had a good Thanksgiving. We had a good time.
We did.
Pigeon Forge.
Yeah, we got to wait outside the restaurant for 3 hours for Thanksgiving dinner.
And not just like check in and leave. No, we sat in the car in the parking lot for 3 hours.
It was great. Once we got to eat, I don't know if the food was good or I was just hungry, but I ate it pretty quick.
This is, I don't want to dog on her, but what made it worse, Mom was sitting there watching a show and did not have headphones. So we're all having to listen to this terrible, I don't even know what, the writing was bad, the acting was bad, so it's just a terrible show. I only watched one show. By the time it was over, it only took an hour to finish that show. And so then I offered my headphones to Mom, and she said no.
I had my headphones on, so I didn't hear none of this. And so
you and Haley both put headphones on.
I just pretended like I was in a deer blind, and I was hunting a different kind of food that morning or that afternoon. I was hunting turkey and ham, and I got both. So life was good, and some pecan pie.
So we waited 3 hours, ate for 30 minutes.
It was great. It was good. And we got home in time to, we missed the beginning of the Cowboys game, but that's okay. We kind of had it on our phones. But then, hey, man, what a great weekend. The Cowboys.
Great week to be a Cowboys and Longhorns fan.
Yeah, man, what a great week. And so.
Cowboys beat both of the Super Bowl teams last year.
Fantastic.
Longhorns beat the number 3 team. And I don't know if you saw this. It's kind of crazy. We only went up 2 spots.
I saw that.
And A&M only dropped like 2.
Yeah. Yeah. So they
what?
We will not be making the playoffs, but that's our fault for not beating the Gators. We should have beat Florida Gators.
Or now we know next year instead of taking Ohio State for the game opener, we'll play a high school team like Georgia does every year.
Oh wow, we did that. I didn't do that. He did that.
All right, man. So de-incentivized because if we were a 2-loss team, we'd be in the playoffs. But since we decided to give people a show that they want to see and not watching, the Georgia Bulldogs beat up on some 8th graders.
Well, but I also think if we beat the Gators, we wouldn't have any issues. So life would be good. Or if we just beat Ohio State and Georgia, just beat them. Here's what I know.
To be fair, though,
if you beat them, you don't have to worry about it.
Last year, Ohio State lost to I think it was Northern Illinois, and they still got to go to the championship. But we lose to Florida, and now that's end of the world. They're an SEC team.
Right, but they were 3-6.
Okay, but Northern Illinois is who Ohio State lost to. That's far worse.
Well, I don't know. Anyhow, so Thanksgiving was good. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Hopefully you got to spend it with some family or some friends or whatever. And but yeah, it was a good week, and I was glad to be back in town and excited for church Sunday. I was pleased with the turnout. Sunday school was down a little bit. First service was down a little bit, but man, second service numbers were good, and just seemed to go really well. So you had the largest Sunday school this week.
Yeah, we had a lot of visitors this week. Got to Jordan brought Cam, which was good to see him. I haven't seen him in a while. Love that dude. And a couple other people. I think Matthew brought a friend, so pretty good turnout. We had a good time.
Yep.
We decorated our tree together during Sunday school. Last year, what we did, because we didn't have ornaments yet, or I think it was the year before that, I passed out a red Solo cup to everybody that they could decorate, and we put it on our Christmas tree.
There you go.
Because the ornaments we did have were, and I don't want to throw shade at whoever bought them, but they were hideous. Luckily, somebody, I think, bought us some new ornaments last year. They were a lot better, and those are what's on our tree right now, and they look very, very good. Thank you to Miss Julie Box for putting up our tree for us, because I wasn't even thinking about that at all.
Well, and thank you, Miss Julie, and whoever helped her. I'm sure there was at least an Allen that helped. But thank you for decorating the church and making it look so beautiful and making it all Christmassy. And
I will say, to my surprise, no broken glass here on that coffee table.
Man, I think there's a lot of folks that were surprised that, but it's early. That was one morning. We'll see how we go through the next 3 or 4 weeks. But I'm excited. See what happens.
Well, I mean, it's just the only thing is it's very low, and it's an area that's highly trafficked with children.
I love it. Let's wait and see what happens.
So it's bound to happen.
Baby Jesus may go flying.
Something's going to break. So
It'll be fun. It'll be fun to see. If you don't know what we're talking about, there's a coffee table out in the front foyer, and it has a nativity scene on it, a ceramic nativity scene. And we're taking guesses on how long it is before something.
I forget, we do have 5 listeners that have no idea what our church looks like.
Yeah, so that's what I thought we would tell them.
Shout out the 2 in Russia and the 3 in England. I don't know how y'all found us or why y'all continue to listen every week, but we're happy to have you.
Happy to have you. Thank you for participating and listening to us ramble on, typically about nothing. But anyhow, we have a live nativity scene that's pretty low on a coffee table in our front foyer where there's a lot of traffic. And but it survived. It survived the whole day, and nothing happened to it. So I'm kind of surprised. So
yeah, well,
that's awesome.
You want to get into your Sunday school?
Sunday school. We talked about we're in Titus, Titus. There's no such thing as a book called Titus.
I was just going to let you rock with it.
Judas. We're in Judas. Sorry.
No, Jude.
But his name was Judas.
But the book is Jude.
And anyhow, the author is Judas, which is Jesus' half-brother. So we're in there, and he's really struggling with a lot of people that they were in the church and now they're leaving the church. And he talked about we got to be careful with that, and the devil wants us to get frustrated, wants us to leave, and that kind of thing. Well, this week we got into people who have left the church that are now being a negative influence on people that are still in the church. And so for us who are in the church, so those who are Christians, those who are Christ followers, we got to make for sure we don't let outside influences that once were in the church that are no longer in the church influence us. And when that can happen, somebody gets mad and leave, and they want to, pull as many people with them, and they want to, hey, you need to come be a part of what I'm doing. And there's been folks like that, and there's always going to be folks like that. And so Jude is saying, hey man, you need to be aware of that, and you need to be careful of that, and don't let people influence you negatively, And we talked about in Sunday school how sometimes people leave because there's something negative or whatever, and or they get upset or they get their feelings hurt or whatever, and then they end up leaving, and then instead of just leaving quietly, they continue to cause issues and problems, and I think every church deals with that. But he's directly talking about that. Hey, this is an issue, and this is a problem, and you guys need to be aware of it. And so we just kind of talked about the importance of not letting someone else influence us in a negative way. It's real easy. I think most humans can be bent towards the negative, and we talked about how if you're looking for the negative, you can find the negative. We talk about that a lot. I think we've talked about it even on here, that if you're looking for the negative, you'll find the negative. The negative is easy to find, but if you're looking for positive, you can find the positive. And so that was all the whole conversation is we've got to be careful with who or what we allow to influence us. And we've got to be aware when it's negative, and aware when it's the devil. It's the devil causing conflict and causing issues, because the devil doesn't want Shiloh Baptist Church to thrive. The devil doesn't want us to do good. So he's going to cause negativity. He's going to have people that are going to be upset about whatever. And we can name off 100 things, but people will get upset or whatever. Well, and then ultimately there's some folks that will get upset and then they'll walk away or whatever. And when they do, a lot of times people just quietly leave. And I think if you're going to leave a church, that's what you should do. But then there's a few folks that do everything they can and cause as much havoc as they can walking out the door. And so that's what he was warning us about. And he was just telling us, hey, you need to be aware that there are people like that, and those people can really influence you in a negative way and cause you to make bad decisions off false information. And I think that happens a lot. We make decisions based off something that we really don't know what happened or what's going on or that kind of deal. And I think a lot of times if we just have a conversation or talk with somebody, hey man, I got an issue with so-and-so. Well, let's talk with so-and-so and let's work that issue out, and I think a lot of that can be solved. But anyhow, so that's what we talked about in Sunday school. Went really, really well, and we had a good group. Our group, we have a revolving group because we have out of our class, it seems like we have the most that go and work in children's church. So we have 2 that'll be gone for 2 weeks, then they come back and 2 more will be gone, and that kind of a deal. But
so nobody really gets a complete series.
Yeah. Well, those poor ladies that sacrifice to teach the kids, and I appreciate them doing that. What a blessing. But we do miss a few folks, through that rotation. So, but that's good.
Going back to what you were just talking about, I think it's very interesting how the people that like mainly steward negativity tend to have the most influence, as opposed to people that like are more positive. I feel like it's easier for them to gain followers and cause more people to follow them down that path than those that are more positive.
See, I think that's the skill of the devil, right? Yeah. So the devil gets in, and unawares, people are being used by the devil to sow discord, and they don't even realize. I don't think they even grasp the brevity of what they're doing, and so then they sow that discord, which then gets people to be on board with that discord, and then it can have a long effect on that person that they've allowed this negativity in, and then now they then start breeding the negativity. And I think sometimes we're just meant towards the negative. Everybody likes a good gossip story. Everybody likes to hear the tea. Everybody likes, and I said that right?
But
you hate it.
I think at a certain age you have to stop using certain slang words.
Oh, so I just now learned it.
Like,
so
I
feel like it's now time to use it.
Cool for you to use slang from your time.
Gotcha.
But like I wouldn't even. I think I'm past the age of saying tea.
It's
also, and I say this out of love. Tea is more female slang.
Gotcha.
It's not really something boys say.
So what should I say?
I think gossip is fine. I don't think we have to.
So we're just going back to old King James gossip. I got it. No, that's fine.
Well, because I guess gossip is more of a girl thing, so it makes sense for girls to have
tea.
No, a slang word for it.
I got you. So anyhow, all I know is it's easy to want to hear the bad. It's easy to want to hear the negative.
I think it makes you feel better about yourself.
I think so. And I think that's the reason why we're so easily attracted to the negative, is because, hey, I want to hear negative in someone else's life because, it'll make me feel better about my miserable existence. So, and so I think that's where some people, and I think we can all fall into that. I don't care how good of a person you are. We can, even not even being aware that we fall into that. I have fallen into that on many, many occasions where I'm being negative and it then affects those people around me, and then come to find out that they're being negative. I remember back early in ministry, one of the pastors I worked for, super negative about everything, negative. Well, I started like letting that influence me, so I started being negative. Well, then one day he had the gall to tell me, "Hey, you're so negative." And I was like, "Bro, the only reason why I'm negative is because I hang out with you." And I was just shocked that he pointed out my negativity when he's one of the most negative people I knew, and so and then it was a quick realization was, holy cow, I'm letting that dude's negativity affect me and cause me to be negative.
Being negative about your negativity.
Yeah, and I'm just being negative about my negativity. And so it caused me to wake up, hey, man, I got to be careful with that. And it's easy. It's easy to find. Like I said, it's super easy to find the negative. It's super easy to complain. It's super easy to do that. And so Jesus' half brother, man, he's sitting here saying, hey, man, we need to be aware of that. And we need to know that is a problem. And it's one of the things that Satan uses and causes so much damage and so much trouble and so much trauma and division in churches. And it starts with just somebody being negative.
Yeah.
And I don't think people realize that. I think people, and you have some of those folks that, man, every time you have a conversation with them, okay, here comes a negative conversation. Yeah. And I don't want to be that way. And so I want to change that. When I do have those times and I have those moments, I want to be better. I want to, like we talked about in Sunday school, we as Christians, we need to do better. We need to do better.
I think, and it takes more than just ignoring it and just saying, well, I'm just not going to be a part of it. I think you have to put a stop to it because it'll just snowball. You have to be bold and stand up and say, hey, we got to stop doing this, talking like this, and carrying this negativity around.
Yeah.
Because
But I think that starts with me. So like if I find that I'm being negative, if I want things to be positive, I need to change that about me first, So Chad Hulsey needs to work.
But how often does someone recognize that they're negative without someone pointing it out to them? Because I think a lot of times people can be negative and they're completely unaware of it.
Yeah.
Until it takes somebody to be like, hey, I've noticed this. It might be something you need to work on.
Yeah. But I think you got to do that in love, and I think you've got to have earned
has to come
the
from the right
respect
person.
To have that conversation. Right. It can't be some person that comes to church that maybe comes to church and then they miss more than they make, and then they come up and tell me, hey, here's what you need to be doing. I'm probably not going to listen to that person. That was Sunday school. Well, how was your Sunday school?
It was good. We wrapped up 2 Peter. Kind of sad to be at the end of this because I've actually really enjoyed going through this series. I think this is the first time in a long time we haven't been reading through something that Paul wrote, so it was cool to get other perspective. We even got to this week, Peter references Paul, and I thought it was pretty funny. One of the things he says is a lot of Paul's writing's hard to understand, which I thought was pretty funny. But he references something Paul says. But the main point for this week to close is he's kind of reinstilling this idea that our time on earth isn't forever. It's going to come to an end, and that's not just our personal lives, but humanity on earth as a whole. Like, Jesus is coming back, so how are we going to spend our time that we're given? And recognizing that while our time is a gift, it's also a responsibility, and our life is a gift, but it's also not ours. And there's a responsibility and a direction that comes with it that's not necessarily our own, but something that, we see God's guidance and try to do our best in everything to further the kingdom. We talked about how every situation in life is an opportunity to either be an example or tell others. And I use an example because this past week, Tucker had felt like God was kind of pushing him towards being more bold in his faith. And he was at the gym, and there's a guy in there that he felt like God was really wanting him to go talk to, so he went up and talked to him, and the dude ended up telling him, like, Tucker asked him if he went to church anywhere. He said, man, I used to go to church, and kind of told the story of, like, some church hurt stuff, and said, I've just kind of pulled out, kind of a younger guy, and, Tucker just began talking to him more and more, and the guy asked him, he said, do you go to church anywhere? He said, yeah, I go to Shiloh, and the dude said, well, I'd love to go with you, and he was here this past Sunday, and sat with Tucker, which was really, really cool to see that. I think it's so easy for us to be fearful of those conversations of either rejection or, that person being like, why is this random person talking to me about this right now? But him getting to see the fruit from that was pretty cool. I know he was really excited when he actually showed up, because you never know. People say that, like, they're going to come, but, a lot of times they don't. So we talked about how every moment in your life is an opportunity, and when we recognize in light of eternity that our time does have value, and every second does have value, and we're not called to just sit in our rooms by ourselves all day, but be active and using every moment as a chance to do something to further the kingdom. And then we talked about God's guidance in our lives, and I used that quote from the podcast we were listening to. I think it was on the way to Florida, where the guy was saying that beliefs are something we hold, but our convictions are what hold us. We can live contrary to our beliefs, but we can't live contrary to our convictions, which I thought was super, super good. And so shared that with them and kind of broke that down. And yeah, that was pretty much it for this week. We just kind of had a good close on it. I think one of the phrases he used at the end in that last chapter is, he said, make every effort. It's not something that, our faith isn't something we just compartmentalize for Sundays and Wednesday nights and when we're at church or when we're doing our prayer in the morning, but it's an active part of our everyday life. For every second of every day, our faith is something that we fall back on, and that is an active role in everything that we do, and not just something pushed to the side. It says make every effort. Every single chance you get, every second of every day is a chance to make every effort. And so he started off the book by saying that, and now ends it. And so it was a good closing week, and I am excited to move on to something new, but I'm very sad to be done with 2 Peter. So that's pretty much it for my Sunday school.
In the first service, we had the Lewises come and join. His name's Jerry Lewis, and he said that he was born during the Jerry Lewis-a-thon that he used to do. So I thought that was kind of funny. So I really want to sit down and have more of a conversation with him about that. So Jerry Lewis is a comedian and did a lot of funny movies back in the day. And he used to do a thon type deal to raise money for kids. And he said that he was born during that time and was named Jerry. And I thought that was really cool. So I would like to have more information on all that. When I was a kid, the funny guys were Jerry Lewis, and the other funny guy was Bob Hope. And, well, maybe not in my time, the movies and stuff I was allowed to watch. So anyhow, but I thought that was good. I'd like to talk to him more. We're just now getting to know them, and they joined Sunday. And both services went really well. We were down in the first service a little bit, but the second service, the numbers, like I said earlier, were good. And I think with all the people that were missing, that were still traveling out of town, and all the people that were sick, I think our numbers were really, really good.
We seem to have a lot of visitors second service. There's a lot of people I didn't recognize.
We had at least three families that I know of. For some reason, we didn't get cards on any of them, but we had three families and or three different groups, if you will. And I think that includes Tucker's friend. So Tucker's friend, one family that had kids, and then another one that would look like just a husband and a wife. And so, yeah, it was really good. There may have been more, but, and then I looked through of all the people we were missing. A lot of folks that were sick. The Greens were sick, and the Turners were sick, and a few others. Janie Edwards is still recovering from her surgery, and so, just a lot of different things like that. And so when you put all that together, man, we'd have had one crazy number of a day if all those folks would have been in place. So I look forward to the next couple of weeks.
Well, and it was rainy and gross weather.
Oh, it was terrible weather. So, and I think just a lot of people aren't feeling well. The weather goes from 80 degrees to 30 degrees, and it just destroys you. People are wrecked. I talked to 3 or 4 different people who over the last several days just had really bad headaches. And I don't know if it's just the change of the barometric pressure or what, but a lot of headaches and a lot of just people not feeling well. And then, of course, the stress and the craziness of any kind of a holiday brings a lot of stress too. So anyhow, without that, it was good. In the service we talked about, in both services, man, what did we talk about? We talked about loving people who are tough to love, and man, that's a tough conversation because that's tough to do. It's hard to love somebody who doesn't love you back. It's hard to show love to someone who has done mean things to you, who has hurt you, and who have done awful things. And so very, very tough conversation, and very hard, because you worry as you preach on stuff like that people are going to just, I'm not going to listen to this because I'm not going to do that. I don't have, I'm not listening to this. This is ridiculous. And because loving your enemy is a tough thing to do. But that goes back to love your neighbor as yourself. And we've been asked by God to do so. And he didn't say unless they've been bad to you or unless they hurt your feelings, unless, whatever. He just says that we are to love one another. And I don't think that means put yourself in a position where they can hurt you, but I think we're still supposed to show love, and we can do that. And of course that starts with praying for them. And so loving your enemies by praying for them. And I find that that's very, very healthy for me. When I do that, I'm not always very good at that, but when I do that, I think that's very beneficial. I don't know if it's beneficial for them per se, but it's really, really good for me. It helps me to process the damage, process the hurt, process the bitterness, process all that. So for my health and my well-being and my spiritual walk and my everything, praying for those people and praying good for them, not just praying that the Lord will strike them dead, but that the Lord would, pray good for them, that they would be blessed and that they would be, do good. And so when we do that, we find that praying for them is really good. And then just that whole idea of I'm a child of God, and so therefore I need to be better. I need to stop using the excuse of well, they did this, so I can do, so I'm doing. So here's my excuse. Here's my reason for doing it. We need to be above that. We need to be better than that. And that's hard. That's really, really hard. Of course, then it ended with Jesus saying, be perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect. And that's the standard, right? And so you say, well, that's impossible. It is, but that's the standard, and that's what we should be striving for. And so there's something to always work for, because none of us have reached perfection, And that's the beautiful thing about the Christian walk and the Christian faith is you're never going to arrive until you arrive in heaven. So there's that walk, and we need to walk, and we need to live in a manner that's worthy of that. And you say, well, I messed up just there. But that's fine. Repent of it, fix it, turn from it, and do better. Do better. And so that kind of seems my mantra here the last
I think it's
day.
easy once you get to a certain age to kind of clock out and be complacent, not really pushing yourself to continue to grow, because, I don't know, I feel like you're like, I'm old, so it doesn't really matter. And I know when I was a teenager, there's stuff that I was like, man, I need to work this out. But I'm so young, I'll do that. I'll fix that when I'm older. And if you look at that standard of perfection through all walks of life, there's no end. There's no need to kind of plateau in your faith once you reach a certain age, but you can be 90 years old and still have areas you can continue to grow and push yourself in. So I think that's really good. I really enjoyed it. I know a lot of other people enjoyed it. A lot of people got to point fingers at some of their family members with some of the things you've said. So,
well, I just think as you get older, the stuff you struggle with might change, but that doesn't mean that you're still not struggling with things. And it's interesting that we'll compartmentalize that and say, well, I'm not struggling with drugs or alcohol, and I'm not struggling with lust or whatever, but man, you could be struggling with being a big pain in the rear at church. You could be that person that's causing division. You could be that person that's being negative about everything. And honestly, that does as much damage to the church than anything, you know what I mean? And so although you get older and those issues may change, there's still sin and still some things we need to always be working on and trying to be better at. And even, just loving people, I'll be honest with you, Sunday morning, I just wasn't feeling it to start off with. I was like, man, I don't know that I should be the one here this morning, and so it's one of those deals where, that's the wrong attitude. We need to have a better attitude. We need to fix that. And I don't know what the issue was. I think the devil just fighting sometimes, and you got to fight through that and push through and say, hey, we're gonna do it because that's what God wants us to do, kind of deal. And so and that some people are difficult to love, and we need to try to love them. I did check with Mr. Moore. He is still my friend, and
when he was taking up offering, he stopped by me and Mom. He said, y'all should have told me he was so sensitive.
Listen, man, that guy
he's so funny.
He's a funny dude. And he's funny because he comes out of nowhere, like right? So you're just sitting there and you're shaking hands. Hey, how are y'all? Good to see you. And then, of course, all of a sudden, boy, out of nowhere, you're like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing, And so it's great. I think he's a funny dude, and I love him in the church. And but, yeah, we always have a good conversation. And
he cracks me. I saw him the night before Saturday night at the movie theater.
Yeah, I was asking his daughter, is that a movie that going to be a good movie for me to go see? And she kind of looked at me, and I said, now don't forget that Minions are my favorite. And she goes, okay, then maybe you would like it. So I don't know.
She's really fun. The other day during Sunday school, she looked at Tucker and she said, "Did you dye your hair?" Of course, Tucker goes, "No." And she said, well, it used to be like dirty blonde. And he just kind of looked at her and said, like, I didn't dye my hair. She goes, well, now it's just dirt.
She's funny. She's funny.
So
I guess she's home for the holidays.
Yeah, probably headed back now. It seems like everybody's heading back to school now that Thanksgiving's over.
Well, I think a lot of schools, they may have a week or so, and then they're out for the whole month.
Which is weird because I know some schools, you're off for a while.
Yeah, you usually get
the whole holiday season. You're just at home.
Yeah, you usually, when you're in college, they usually give you like close to a month off. But if you were playing basketball, you didn't get that. I played basketball, so there
Had
was
to be running hills.
There's nobody else was here, but here, let's go work out and let's go play basketball and let's play games, which I always loved. So it was good. But so yeah, that was a service. The numbers were like I said, better than expected, and spirit's good. And I think this week we're gonna have a piano player. I think so.
Which one? Which one? I know there's like 2 people up in the air.
The family that just joined. How do you say their names? Cater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's supposed to play this
week.
Sweet, so,
awesome.
Yeah, Miss Cater is supposed to play this week.
Are we gonna do like a practice?
I would assume that probably going to happen Wednesday, but we'd have to get with Miss Branda Marchenko. She's in charge of all that. And by the way, shout out to Brandy and all her hard work with our music.
Great set this week.
Good set this week. It's not easy. The thing is, because we do a blended service, half the service, one group is mad, and half the service, the other group is mad. So she has a very, very tough job.
But me and you were happy the whole time.
Yeah, I was happy the whole time because I like them. I like it all. And most people do, but we do have a few folks that only like the new, and then we have a few folks that only like the old. But man, I appreciate her putting that all together. I know that takes a lot of work and a lot of thought, and she doesn't get enough praise and enough thank you for what she does. And so I appreciate her doing that for us every week. She
and
does
the rest of our
as a volunteer deal. Oh yeah, and the rest of our
players.
folks that dedicate to come to 2 services. To play the instruments, do the yeah, it's a lot, and I appreciate their commitment to our services and what we do. And that's a funny thing; it's real easy to come in and be negative towards the music when all you've done is just slid in and then slid out, but you've done nothing to help. You know what I mean? Make the music. But, man, I'm sure going to have a hot opinion about it. And so that'll be one of the things that drive me bonkers. But anyhow, I appreciate Brandy and the rest of the group.
A lot of people would point out something in the church and be like, this needs to get done. And then you can be like, okay, then do it. And they're like, no.
Well, I've got to where a lot of people won't do that. You know, a lot of people come up to me and goes, hey, anything you need me to do? Sure, I need this, and this does. Well.
Shouldn't have asked.
And then it doesn't happen. And so, but that's okay. The Lord knows.
But from what I've heard, there's going to be a lot of people showing up to help with the nativity setup, which is good because we need all the help we can get.
Yes, if you can come and help.
Do we have a time for them? Is it like during the day or is it going to be afternoon?
4:00 on Tuesday. We've kind of went over that.
I didn't hear you say a time. My bad.
Yeah, 4:00, 5:00, whenever you can be here. I think we have a group showing up at 4. But man, whenever you can get here, you get off work, you come. You come Tuesday evening. Our goal is to get all those backdrops pulled out, screwed together, set up, and then of course, then there'll be another group that'll come in and set up all the detail stuff.
Do we have a light tunnel group?
We're hoping to have a light tunnel group. I need to talk with the Mackeys, but they were sick this week, and so y'all pray for the Mackeys. They're not feeling well, but they say they're going to help.
The hardest part.
The tunnel is the worst thing. So we're working on a different. Instead of using a PVC pipe, I would like to do something that we can go straight up and pin it, and then lay them sheets up top, and then straight down to eliminate the bend and all the zip ties. That's just so difficult. So if we can do that, that would be so awesome. And I pray that we're able to do that, and we will just have to wait and see if we can find something that'll work towards that.
Well, and that's another thing I was talking about in Sunday school, because I was talking about, understanding that some of these things that we have to do, we don't necessarily want to do, but a lot of good comes from it, and it's not about us. And one of the realizations I had, I complain so much about the light tunnel every year because I hate doing it. Me and you usually fight a few times while we're doing it. It's just big pain in the butt. But then one of the things like you realize is that big bright light up thing. People driving by see that and will pull up here not really knowing what it is, just because they've seen that light tunnel, and then they end up getting to hear, the story of Jesus' birth. So there's good that comes from it, although. There is, in my head, it was a whole lot of bad coming from it because I was like, man, I hate doing this thing so much.
Well, and I think once again, that's all your perspective and how you look at it. I think last year was really tough because the weather was really bad and we were both sick.
And didn't I have what was that hurt? Was it stitches or ankle?
You had, I think 2 years ago was your ankle.
And then I think last year was stitches.
Where'd you have stitches?
Bottom of my foot, busted open
Oh,
in
yeah.
volleyball.
Well, so anyhow, so 2 years he's been injured, and I've had to do most of the work while he sits out there looking like he's hurt.
This is the first year, this time of year, in the past 3 years that I have not had some kind of injury.
Well, injury, and then we were both. I think last year we were both sick as a dog, just sick as a dog. So, So anyhow, we're looking for a quicker, faster, better solution for the light tunnel. My solution is just don't do the light tunnel. But like Keagan said, so many people. I can't tell you how many people will pull up and during our live nativity and go, "Hey, what's going on up here?" And we tell them it's a drive-through live nativity, and then you drive through the lights, and they're like, "Can we do it?" And we're like, "Yeah, man, that's why we're doing it. So that's why we're here." And so I think I think that's really, really important, and so there's a part of me that goes, "Yeah, don't do the lights," but I think what all we need to do is just get more help to help set it up and help tear it down instead of it being just.
I think there's a few things we try to do too much on our own.
We do. Well, and for me, if there's somebody out there that wants to take over the lights, I will turn that over like in the next 3 seconds, and I don't mind helping you and telling you where all of it is, and then, man, I'm willing to step out and let that be your ministry. If you feel like God's called you to that, you let me know. We'll get you going on it.
It's not going to take a whole lot of convincing on our end.
No, Chad Holsey would be willing to let that ministry, be someone else's ministry. So, but we're also wanting to add more lights and do some stuff, and need to have a deacons meeting maybe Wednesday night. And so
the cool thing is we have 3 rows that we could probably figure out a way to snake people through.
I would love, we're talking about just the grand scheme of things, I would love to have 3 rows of lights one day. Yeah. But we were looking at lights last night, and like those lights that we walked through at Pigeon Forge, just the little turtle or the penguin fishing, that thing costs $4,000 for that one. No. And so we were looking at lights and stuff like that last night. We're talking crazy. That one where there's a whole live nativity that's gorgeous. $15,000. It's $14,000. It's crazy money, and it's gorgeous. But I'm thinking, man, the investment. And so one day, maybe we can slowly each year, invest in 1 or 2 of those really nice ones. And we've tried to do our own thing, and it doesn't look quite as good. We've got a bunch of inflatables, but I would like for us to go to that next level. But we were looking at that next level, and that next level is going to cost some money. So
what if we just stick Trent and Scotty out there with a couple flashlights?
Well, I think they would be fun to look at, and so. But anyhow, that's definitely a desire of ours, and we were looking at a 12 Days of Christmas deal, which was really neat.
That'd be cool.
And so, but that there's an investment there. So, but if we want to make our live nativity grander and better every year, that's one of the things we need to have a conversation about, right? So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this week having a piano player. And and Saturday, man, listen, Saturday, if you're in town from 5 to 7, we're doing open house here at the church instead of at our house, because our house is way too small. Last year, we were shoulder to shoulder, bumper to bumper,
so bad,
belly to belly, butt to butt, and it was just too tight. And so I think we've decided it'll be better to do it in the front foyer of the church. And we're going to set up some tables. We're going to have all kinds of food, but also that gives us Tracy more room to cook and that kind of stuff. And but she's excited about it, and I'm excited about it. And I hope you'll come. It doesn't cost anything.
I get to go now.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
No, I didn't know you weren't coming.
Well, I was telling Mom they planned a Friendsgiving that same day, but I got them to move it to today.
Oh,
so,
gotcha.
By the way, Mom, if you're listening to this around lunchtime, I need you to make a banana pudding for me before 6 o'clock.
Right. I think she's doing shepherd's pie tonight, and so...
No, she's not.
I don't know what she's doing tonight, to be honest with you. I'm just messing.
I say, my feelings are about to be hurt.
Right. So y'all come Saturday from 5 to 7 here at the church. Open house, and it's a come and go type event. So if you can only stay for 5 minutes, hey, just come and spend 5 minutes with us. If you want to stay for the full 2 hours, pull up a chair, hang out with us. We're going to have a good time. But we want y'all to come. It doesn't cost anything. Come and eat. Just grab some finger foods. That's what we're doing. It's finger foods. And it's just our way, the Holsey's way of saying Merry Christmas. And
me and Dad put a lot into this every year.
Well, I do. I put in money, and
that's true.
I put in.
I was making more a joke that we kind of just sit there and Mom cooks everything.
She doesn't like people in the kitchen, so that's she wants to do it herself. So
that's true,
and I'm cool with that. That's
works
awesome.
out good.
Works out great for me. And so, but anyhow, it's going to be a great Saturday, and then of course Sunday. I think we're going to have a piano player, so that'll be good. And then we head into that next week is Live Nativity all week. So next week is going to be crazy fun. So come be a part of it if you can. And if you can help us set up, tear down in anything, lights or whatever, or if you want to give me a phone call, you want to take over the lights, you call the church. We can put you, or call my cell phone, and we'll turn that ministry over right now. So
you want to get into those comments?
Yeah, man.
Coming up on comments. Got about 14 minutes left here.
Do we really? Hang on, it's got to see my face. Do I start with the first one you sent me?
Let me see it. Yes. I think they're all from the same episode.
So Jed Chadwick. So he says sweet potato souffle and broccoli and cheese casserole.
See, broccoli cheese casserole, I'm with you, brother.
Sweet potato souffle sounds disgusting.
Terrible.
This is Jed Chadwick, by the way. And broccoli and cheese casserole, disgusting. He
Wrong.
says,
I'm with you, Jed.
He says, I'm going to be praying for y'all. So those are his two favorites. And then Jackie said that we were talking about Alice, how Alice got saved. And Jackie said that Alice was so excited to tell her Sunday that she had been saved. So that's very,
awesome.
very, very
cool.
Very
cool.
And then Jed said that he liked, yes, Alex, I like the canned cranberry garbage.
Proud to announce I tried some this past Thanksgiving. It's not bad.
Ooh.
I just don't understand why. It's good, but it doesn't make sense with the rest of the plate.
Well, so Tracy said she was going to try it because it came with our meal, and she said it was actually pretty good.
I tried. Mom said it would be good with turkey. That didn't make sense to me either. I don't think you should have any kind of fruit with any kind of meat. But I know you like grape jelly on your sausage biscuit. So I guess it's all up in the air of...
Well, I love that grape jelly.
What's that?
Yeah. So then the next line, Tracy said she was listening to our podcast at the gym, and she had her headphones in, and she's laughing out loud while she's on the treadmill, and she says everybody's looking at her like she's a crazy person.
It must have been me talking.
It must have been. So anyhow, and then Sam Cater, is it Cater?
It's definitely not Carter.
I know. I want to put that R earlier. Cater. He is bragging on his mama's lemon meringue.
She's the one that left the pie for us in the fridge.
Lemon meringue is the key. So very, very good. And then Heather, she's talking about Alex. This is the episode.
I think the full comments on the next slide. If you want
Well,
to
it's missing though, so I get half.
It's right there.
Okay, so this is from Heather Pence. Is when Alex was on the first time. Of course, Alex has been on the last 2 weeks, but not this week because we told him it was too much about him and he needed to move on.
We were missing our spotlight.
So yeah, stop it. So, but his mom says, I both laughed and cried. Alex has grown into a pretty great man, and I am blessed to have a front row seat. Believe it or not, shepherd's pie used to be one of Alex's favorite meals. The recipe calls for whole pecans.
She's talking. We were making fun of Haley's pie because she didn't use the crushed pecan. She used big whole.
Oh, so she's defending her.
And
her,
Alex
her
said,
position.
"Well, that's Heather's fault."
Oh, okay.
She's defending herself. But I do think it's interesting because I'm pretty sure Alex was dogging on shepherd's pie and has been for a couple weeks now. Every time we bring it up, talks about how gross it is.
See, I can't remember.
And now she's saying that was at one time his favorite.
Wow. Well, so Alex Yeah, we need to recheck with Alex, but yeah. So the recipe, what they're talking about is Haley made all the millionaire pies, and she just threw in whole pecans. When what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to chop them up to where they're smaller. I don't mind the whole pecans; it was fine for me. But some people said it was too much, and it needs to be chopped up. And so anyhow, that was the situation with that and what's going on. Sam, he also says his top 5 pies: key lime pie.
Great pie.
Lemon meringue. Lemon meringue. So there seems to be something going on there. He likes the sour stuff, it looks like.
He's a citrus guy.
And he says, my mom's pecan pie.
Very specific.
So he's specific. It can't be just a pecan pie. It has to be mom's pecan pie. And then he goes completely crazy off the rail, but I think it's because y'all have opened up this crazy off the rail. And he says, a good empanada.
Wow.
So he's talking about a meat pie. Technically it is, but
he is correct.
Well, I wouldn't say he's correct.
I would argue that it's on the same level as a fried apple pie.
No, it's not near on the level.
I'm not saying as good, but I'm saying in regards to, is it a pie?
I got you.
If a fried apple pie is a pie, empanada is a pie.
Well, but come on.
It's way more of a pie than Shepherd's.
Well, but I agree because we're fixing to read Pat's.
I haven't seen this
top
yet, so I'm pretty excited.
So he's got his top 5 pies, and he gets crazy at the end as well with his number 1. And so
should we remember his top 5 songs?
Well, his top 5 songs were completely all Beatles and had nothing to do with...
And the Grand Funk Railroad, I believe.
Well, I didn't read... Once I said Beatles, I was like, I was over it. So, yeah, I'm whatever. So we'll see him tomorrow night. He's coming up. So here's his top 5 pies from Pat Buckles, a.k.a. Grandpa. Number 5, French silk.
I don't think I've ever had that.
I think, isn't that what you get at...
sounds like a sheet.
No, that you get at Perkins restaurant, and you get a Perkins pie. Isn't that a French silk?
I don't know what Perkins is.
You'll have to talk to Tracy. Tracy, will you comment on here and let us know? His next one is peanut butter, but he doesn't go into really
I didn't think
detail.
about peanut butter
pie.
That's good.
Never heard of just a peanut butter pie, but I guess it's good. He then throws out, very specific, Mimi's coconut cream. Have you ever had Mimi's coconut cream?
I don't think I have, but I love coconuts. I'm sure I'd like it.
I hate coconuts, so I would not eat it. No offense to Mimi. I think you're the greatest. And I hope you're feeling better. I heard you're sick. I hope you're feeling better. But no coconut for Chad. Number 2, apple with ice cream.
Come on.
So he would really like Mom's cobbler.
Nope.
With ice cream.
He didn't say I want a soggy pie. We're talking about pie.
No,
and Mom's cobbler's phenomenal.
It's through the roof. It's the best.
But
nothing.
To say it's the same as apple pie could not be farther from the truth.
And Pat's number 1 pie. Number 1, shepherd's pie.
Come on.
Isn't that crazy?
Good man.
That's crazy that we're even considering that to be a pie. And
I don't know if it's a pie,
nuts.
but I rock with Mimi's meatloaf pretty heavy.
Well, I'm okay like with meatloaf as long as you don't put a bunch of onions in it.
I don't know if Mimi does or not, but I know I like it the way that she does it.
She as long as she uses Heinz ketchup, then we're good.
Gotta have Heinz.
Heinz is the best, but anyhow.
Coming up on 53 minutes, anything else you got?
I hope she gets the feeling better. But anyhow, those are our comments. We encourage y'all to comment and post in. You got something you want to say? You got something you want us to talk about? You have any questions? And it can be silly questions or it can be like serious questions. It's some stuff that you really want to know, maybe something you read or studying in God's Word and you would like more content on that coming from us two knuckleheads. We would be willing to give you our 2 cents on it, and that'll be about what it's worth. Yeah. 2 cents.
Hey,
by the way, the penny no longer exists. So can you say 2 cents anymore? Or do we have to start at 5 cents?
I guess you got to say 2 nickels.
We'll give you a nickel's worth. I guess that's where we have to be at these days. Is a nickel's worth, not 2 cents. So
hey, tune in next week. Dad's gonna rank He's gonna rank all the church members from his favorite to his least favorite.
Wow.
And so make sure you tune in for that. It's going to be very exciting.
Wow.
He's been working hard on his list the past couple days.
This is news to me, and I believe that's fake news. Y'all are all my favorites, and so I'm grateful for each one of you and grateful for what you do and bring to the church. because we're truly a body, and without everybody doing their part, doing their role, and being active in the church, the body suffers. And so I appreciate everybody and your personalities and your different characteristics, and that's what makes Shiloh Baptist what Shiloh Baptist is. And so I'm grateful for folks, and I'm grateful for you, and I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I hope it was a great week of family and fun and friends and a lot of food, I'm sure. And but hey, man, we're looking for a good week this week. Pretty slow until Saturday, and don't forget Saturday here, open house 5 to 7. Wednesday night is typical Wednesday night. Tuesday night celebrate recovery, and then Wednesday normal Wednesday night. So y'all come be involved in all those if you can be, and if not, we hope to see you just as soon as we can see you. If you're feeling unwell, we pray that you get to feeling better, and so that's our prayer for you. And if you need something, holler at us. We're here for you.
And thank you so much for listening. And if you wouldn't mind, if you're listening on YouTube, if you would hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, subscribe.
And if you're on Spotify or Apple, go ahead and hit the follow the show button. It kind of helps us get an idea of who's watching still, who's being consistent. Not we don't get to see who it is, but just kind of seeing how many people are listening and watching and following.
Or are we just wasting our time?
Yeah,
here?
That's exactly my point. I'm not saying so we can figure out who's not watching, and
we're going to give you a phone call
and resent them. But but thank y'all so much for listening. Means a lot to us. I hope y'all have a good rest of your week. We'll see you next week.
Have a great day. See you. Bye.